You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
Ready to go. Okay, good evening everyone, and welcome to our 5 o'clock, February 24th, 2022 Board of Fire Commissioners meeting. Present are Commissioners Massey, Lacroix, Clem, and on the phone is Commissioners Fox and Ahern. Absent is Commissioner Ricchio's out of town. Okay, first order of agenda is approval of the minutes. Will be our November meeting. Anything else we have? Do we have other ones too?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, all right.
We have a lot.
All right, Buzz, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, first we need to approve the January minutes, okay? January 18th.
That was a special meeting or a regular
It
meeting?
doesn't matter, we need to approve the minutes.
Oh, okay, I'm going by you.
All right, and then the November 18th minutes,
Yeah,
October 26th,
yep.
okay, and the August 18th.
Yeah, we had a lot of special ones
We
in
have
between.
some
Yeah,
special
to
meetings,
cover,
yes. So, make the motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second, okay.
Okay.
Discussion?
It's all on me tonight, huh?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so voted. Thank you. Reports of committees. Commissioner Ricchio is not here tonight, but we have our budget in front of us for 22-23 budget year that the chief has prepared and the assistant chief. So, Chief, you want to give us the highlights?
Yes, so
Line by line.
you were all sent the budget. Hopefully you had an opportunity to look at it. I did get feedback. I'd also like to thank the commissioners joining us from their vacation spots to make this meeting possible. It is appreciated.
They're working.
The fiscal 23 budget, we always looked to present a budget that's as lean as possible but meets the need of the department. This budget, we are asking for an increase. The highlights are an increase, which we already discussed in the part-time ambulance account for our part-time paramedics and EMTs. The wage was approved by you at your last meeting. It goes to the Board of Finance on Monday night for their approval, knowing that it will affect next year's budget. So this year we can absorb it because we have a surplus, because we have so many vacant spots in that we can cover the increase for this year. But it's going to the board because there will be an impact in the future budget. So our budget assumes 100% that everybody's going to meet that bonus, which we know they probably won't, but we have to budget for it. And it also adds 16 hours of additional weekly to account for Saturday and Sunday. So we'll be providing the additional ambulance 7 days a week for 16 hours a day, if the budget passes as presented. The other increase was in the overtime account, is really more reflective of what we actually spend. So we looked at the 5-year average. It is only funded at 80% of that 5-year average, and that's an obvious question that stands out as to why only 80% of the average, if we're going to look back 5 years and take an average of what we spent. But we're hoping that moving into this coming year, that the last 5 years we've looked at, we've had a lot of vacancies. We're hoping that in the upcoming year we don't foresee any retirements, although it's possible. And we certainly don't expect as many vacant positions by then. So that should reduce, that overall number, and I feel comfortable with the number that we presented. And that's some of the other increases were simply due to inflation, and they were either in the repairs and maintenance account or the supply accounts.
It's very lean.
The only other thing I'd like to speak about to the budget is we have several capital needs this year that I'd like to address, especially in light of the fact that the town is receiving the ARPA money from the American Rescue Act, and they received a significant amount of money, and the fire department hopes that we can get a little bit of that to help us in some of the areas. So we are looking to get some radios for interoperability. The approximate cost of those are about $128,000. Those will allow us to talk with all of our mutual aid and potential mutual aid partners. North Branford is on a high band frequency. We don't have that capability right now, except for myself and Chief Bloomquist and the deputy chief. So we're going to expand that to our frontline units and all of our officers so that they're able to talk safely and we can work together with our mutual aid neighbors. The Lucas devices are the CPR machines. We're looking to replace 2 of those in this budget in lieu of the Life Pack 15. We're in good shape there, which is usually we purchase a monitor.
That means I'm getting old.
I mentioned that to Commissioner Clem.
That means Commissioner Ahern's getting older too.
The first ever Lucas was a donation between you and
I forgot to ask
the
you, how
union.
much do these things run?
They run about $15,000 a piece.
Okay.
Yeah, so
have
we've
another
asked for
fundraiser.
$30,000 there. The washer extractor cancer and is a big thing we have a much higher rate of cancer in the fire service because of all the carcinogens. And they found that it's absorbed through your skin. Wearing the fire gear, this hot smoke gets penetrated, you're sweating, it goes right into you. So we have initiated a lot of cancer prevention activities. One of them is to remove that gear and wipe yourselves down as quickly as possible, shower as soon as you can, but wash the gear because it will continue to off-gas. So we used to take our dirty gear, wear it as a badge of honor, throw it in our car, and breathe that stuff in, and maybe that's one of the reasons one of our commissioners has missing an appendage. But because he is a cancer survivor and breathed a lot of that stuff in over the years and wore that dirty gear. And so washers, extractors is one of our capital items. And then the last one is really the patient moving equipment. The combination of the power load and the power lift stretchers, I think, have gone a long way to reducing injury and certainly the wear and tear on our employees' bodies over the life of their career. So maybe when they do retire, they can actually enjoy it without being crippled. Yep. And this helps them lift and move patients safely. It's also a much safer system overall for our patients, especially during transport. So this will bring us up and put us in much better shape with all of that equipment. And I'm hoping that is approved in this year's budget.
SCBA is part of it?
The SCBA sinking fund is ongoing to replace.
That's nothing to do with that, though. That's
been an ongoing fund.
Yeah, that's
same thing
that.
with the fire apparatus fund, the ambulance fund, and the radio fund is also a sinking fund, but we're asking for an additional appropriation.
How much overall? What are we looking for? About what was it?
The total of our capital requests are about, I believe, 938.
Okay.
It should be on the first page of the capital, which is 937, Chief.
937. Okay.
See, I did all that by memory.
And I had the other sheet. I had the cheat sheet. I called it.
And the largest of those capital requests, obviously, are the apparatus sinking fund to get us to our target amounts in the years for replacement. We need to meet those numbers. So we're looking to replace, the next major piece of apparatus to get replaced would be in the 2025 timeframe, which is Engine 1. And it is by far our busiest and highest mileage piece of apparatus. And it's also one of our more expensive pieces of apparatus. So we need that number to get it done. And along those lines, we began a committee to replace that.
Yeah, it's coming fast.
Well, I called the chief about when I got saw the list of all the apparatus here. Is I remember when we approved Engine 2 and Engine 4 years ago, and I said I couldn't believe it's been 1997.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So in the budget book, in which we gave to the town, is the entire fleet is listed in here. The age of the apparatus, the miles on the apparatus. Some of the volunteer units are low mileage, but they're old units. The 1997s. We did do a corrosion prevention program on engine 2 and engine 4, both 1997 pieces, which extended their life a little bit more, and they're in pretty decent shape for now.
What's our rollover on the 2 staff cars that we have, the car 8 and car?
The 2012s are due to
Yeah,
replacement
yeah.
in the schedule on the previous page, I think, Chief, or the
Yeah,
to the commissioning.
Okay, yeah.
2012s
Oh,
are
okay.
scheduled to be replaced.
Yeah, we got a lot of, we're getting miles, we're getting up on.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Need to work.
those will then typically go into service in the town fleet
Yeah.
after we dispose of
Yeah.
them, where they
Mhm.
get several more years of use out of them.
Chief, have we looked at it? I'm thinking about the sinking fund for the new engine one. Are we able to sort of forecast and or use your crystal ball to determine what that cost might be?
About $750,000. Yeah. And that's based on actual numbers from area departments that have purchased that same
Yep.
piece of apparatus.
It was $300,000 my first year in commission for engine one.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
A couple of years ago. Yeah.
Now, we'll certainly look to see if we can find a deal, as we have always in the past, if
Yeah,
there's a
we should
demo
plan on
unit out there.
750.
But it has to be, it has to meet our needs, you know, we
course.
can't.
Of course.
It's a paramedic unit too, remember, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's the everything unit.
All right, so we could start the process. Do I have a
Oh, I need a-
motion to
Hang on.
approve
hang on.
the budget?
I move we approve the
move
budget. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, Commissioner Fox
put the
has
amount.
made it.
The amount.
What?
You gotta put the amount.
Well, I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Okay, do we have a second? Discussion? So, Chief, do you have anything further that could come up from payroll, anything from finance that could change the amount that we should have it pending upon? There's always adjustments, as we know.
Yeah, I would leave it contingent, just because there could
Yeah,
be
contingent
adjustments.
upon any adjustments from finance.
But at this point, this is the budget that we will present to the
Yep.
Board of Finance.
Okay, any more on discussion?
I just want to say to the chief that I think that the budget documents were extremely clear.
Yeah.
Well,
Great job.
And well presented.
that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
it's pretty, it's good.
You look at it and it's like, it's hard to have a question. I mean, the information is all there.
Thank you. And but of course, there always will be questions, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna touch that.
along those lines, we met with the Public Services Committee, the RTM. We didn't really discuss the the budget, because it was kind of putting the cart before the horse, as they are at the third committee that we'll speak to, but and it hadn't been approved by this board yet. So. But we did discuss in general terms, and I extended an invitation, as I do, to all, especially the new RTM members, to come and tour the fire department, and to discuss some of the unique ways that we staff and the various replacement accounts are typically misunderstood, as well as the term overtime, as we know, is not. Is more extra work, and we did try to explain that, but it's hard to understand unless we can lay it out and kind of one-on-one. So that invitation was extended. We'll see if anybody
see if anybody
takes it up.
shows up. Yeah, sure.
Okay, anything else?
I have nothing.
Okay.
We need
Oh.
to put the amount,
You want to put that amount?
Yes, put that amount in the budget when you.
Can I see your, because my thing is exactly, we're going to put an amount, but it may differ though.
It may differ, that's okay.
Okay, so the amount we're going to record, I'm going to round up, all right? 7,041,000,
Okay,
all right?
it's close enough, yeah.
All right. However, it may be contingent upon any adjustments that have to happen.
Exactly.
Subject to
Okay.
change.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Do I have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so voted, 100% good. Personnel, as you see per the chief's report,
Oh, here.
we have 2 full-time vacancies for firefighter paramedics. We're currently in the process of onboarding 6 new part-time EMTs and 1 paramedic. Several will be ready to work independently beginning next week. Anything else on personnel, Chief?
I'm sure Chief Bloomquist will cover that under his report.
Okay, all right, we'll get there. Okay. Training, Commissioner Clem?
Oh, training, okay. Where am I here?
We got Deputy Chief Kujima here. He's ready
Yes,
to.
he's here. I'll go to him.
Yeah.
He sent me the list and everything of training that's going on, and typically as with the fire department, you're training all the time, career staff and volunteers.
Yep.
But I wanted to know, I called him back and asked him, I said, I mean, we're going to classes, the guys and the women are going to classes, okay? They can either come in here, they do it online, or I guess there's other ways to do it. But I wanted to know, are we actually going out to do something, you know? And he said yes. So I guess we're doing, the on-duty shifts have been training with rope rescue, which is fantastic. And then the low angle rescue refresher. What is low angle?
Exactly. Just we pick a low slope, not much of an angle, with an evolution of somebody that fell down a hill, or
Okay.
where we have to use the rope equipment to go and rescue
Okay.
them. So
Now, do we use this for rope rescue?
no, we don't.
No.
We're not really qualified to rappel and stuff off the tower and stuff, but low angle we do. So we have Captain Carson set up with I forget the name of the condos, but on Liesel Lane there's a slope over there, kind of resembles a highway over a guardrail. A car that went down there, and we'd have to go and rescue
good,
somebody. So we're
good,
going to be
okay.
utilizing
Yeah.
a hill on Liesel Lane to do that.
Well, I had called him to ask him because I saw the chief took me out to the Apparatus Bay recently, and they have a rubber dinghy that, whatever you call it.
That's for the ice rescue.
That's for the ice rescue. It's a neat looking boat and everything.
Like a sled, right?
And
Yeah.
yeah, so I asked Mr. Kujma if I would love to go and watch them, but unfortunately he said I guess they trained on it already during the winter, and so
Well, they had ready to go Monday morning. You were going with it, right?
It was, yeah.
At Young's Pond, they had someone going through the ice.
Okay.
First thing in the morning, at 6 in the morning.
see, no, it's crazy, but I would love to have seen it.
Yeah.
And then the chief officers, captains, and the acting captains are doing incident command. Now, exactly what happens during incident command?
You want to touch on that one?
I would. So we're required to use an incident management system for any incident that we respond to, but primarily, on a simpler incident, you would have an incident commander, meaning there's one person in charge. There's not, it's not a freelance situation where everybody's acting independently. All the resources will go through command. But as you get into more complex and larger incidents, you need to start to divide up your span of control, because one person can only effectively manage 5 resources. So we do that by through delegation, and this particular class that's coming up is called ICS 300 or Incident Command 300. It's required for all high-level incident commanders for larger expandable incidents. So Texas Extension Service, which is through Texas A&M, has a contract with the state to provide this training. They're going to send 2 instructors to Branford. We have our entire command staff going through, as well as I think there's about 28 outside people from throughout the state that are going to be attending this particular delivery. And we're required to have it. It's, as OSHA, it's a federal and an OSHA mandate that anybody in our level has to have that.
Do you have a date for that yet?
Yes, it's March 29th, 28th.
29th to the 31st.
Right.
Okay.
And then a follow-up will be in May, which is the 400 version of that same class. So we only need to take that one time to get the certification. Unfortunately, a lot of us did it many years ago, and our records were never submitted to the Fire Academy. So
Okay. All right. And then I guess during the winter, we suspended the training for the volunteers due to COVID. So And we're gonna be back again,
Yep.
starting, well, the first of this month, so that's good, so. But yeah, that's what I said, there's so many of them going through everything, so, anyway, but that's it, that's it.
Okay. Any other questions on training?
I actually observed an ice rescue training last
How
winter.
did
It
you
was,
do that? My goodness. How did you know about it?
it was on the CAD.
What's a CAD?
Well, we'll get you hooked up, don't worry.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
You
so
listen
anyhow,
to the radio.
I will make sure that
Getting
Commissioner
punched,
Hearn
but,
gets you
yeah.
hooked up on the CAD, trust me.
I don't even know
We'll
what a
take care of
CAD
that.
is, yeah, okay,
You'll be
okay.
good.
Anyhow,
Okay, so you got a chance to see it.
so it was really very, very interesting the way it was done. The equipment and the techniques were very well done, and I thought the crews did an amazing job. They had all of the evolutions, so everyone got to be a rescuer or a victim, and it was really well done. And it was really well done.
Good.
No. Well, that boat, it's a dinghy or whatever you call it.
a
The
sled.
fact that you can pull the person that's in the water, just grab them and just pull them into the dinghy. So I thought that's pretty neat. All right.
My days was ladder and, styrofoam.
Still an option.
Came a long way.
Still an option.
Yeah, I was left on the ice. I was
That's
always
what
the
you have,
victim.
and that's what you use, right?
Okay.
That's it.
God, no, that's unbelievable.
Okay, move on to apparatus. Commissioner Lacroix.
So preventive maintenance is always ongoing. Firefighter Girelli does an amazing job with that. I know that he had, earlier in the fall, he had worked on the on-spot chains and making sure those are all working on all the vehicles. Presently, our new ambulance is en route as we speak from North Carolina.
That's where Dante is right now.
Isn't
Oh,
yet?
okay.
And it's heading to the Eastford Fire Apparatus to finish. Did they do the lettering and painting there, Chief?
That's already been done in North Carolina. They're
Okay.
going to do the fit and finish of the cabinets.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And the power load, which is the for
Yep.
the stretcher, and any minor details that may need to be addressed at the shop. And we hopefully will get it in
They're
about 2
taking the
weeks.
D out of Branford too. They're gonna fix that before it comes back. It says Branford.
Were one of them done incorrectly?
I'm teasing you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, geez, did someone really do that?
Yeah, here you go. No, teasing. I was gonna show you. No, I'm just teasing you.
Very nice. I always liked it when the Branford was on an arc, though.
Yeah, well,
Well,
that's a.
there's a window in the way.
But that's
now.
just the first step.
Yeah.
So this is a remounted ambulance. So it's
Yeah.
our first remount since the Excellence, which is actually the one it's going to be replacing. It saves us about $40,000
Wow. Yes.
overall. So we're excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? No?
That's all I have. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anything else on apparatus?
No.
Okay, EMS Commissioner Fox, do you have anything you want to?
Say
In
from
front
far
of-
away.
Well, and funny, if not, we have it here.
No, I just wondered if the chief wanted to talk a little bit about,
Sure.
adjusting, working out the issues with the revenue collection.
So I'm happy to report that it looks like we're getting back more into our normal ratio of transport versus non-transport. Remember, we can only
Right.
bill for transportable calls. We were up around the 28% non-transport. We are back down to 17% fairly consistently now, which should put us much more on track. Year to date, we have collected $1,152,541. We have responded to 3,075 medical calls, resulting in 2,370 transports. And our ratio is 77% transport to 17% non-transport. So we're,
Do you know where we are comparable to last year at this time? Because this is through
yeah,
January
so
31st.
last year we didn't meet our target, which was $1.8 million to be collected. as far as I can tell, this year, we are on target to meet our budgeted number, and maybe a little
I
bit
think
of,
we're gonna exceed it.
little bit of excess.
I'm hoping,
yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping.
I'm hopeful,
I don't
but
want- yeah, I don't
we
want- just
always
knocking on wood,
we
you know.
always slow down
Yeah.
in the January, February timeframe as far as collections, because that's when everybody's insurance changes, and toward the end of the year we catch
Or they
up.
go,
so.
or they go down south, you know?
Right.
They go down south. They
So
leave,
we're-
they leave the.
They use someone
they leave
else's
us.
ambulance, yeah.
Yeah, you know, they leave us here, you know?
So we're
Okay.
hopeful that that'll catch up.
Okay, great, good news. All right. Anything else on EMS? All right, Commissioner Ahern, buildings?
So I just have a question, maybe a comment for the chief. The building, fire headquarters is now 10 years old. Chief, are you comfortable with GGB's upkeep of all of the different
I wrote that down.
geothermal, solar systems and everything that goes with that?
So everything seems to be functioning now. The current company that they're working with seems to have a handle on. There was a big issue with that water-to-water heat pump for a while. They couldn't figure it out, but it seems like that the company that they're using now has been able to do so. The concern that I have is really for the glycol and making sure that it's the proper consistency and that it's kept up to date. And I've made my concerns known, and I still feel they're not being addressed appropriately.
So how can we help?
I don't know. I think we just need to. I just need to put the screws to them and get a good answer on it. You know, that the biggest issue, Jack, is that we can't get a good answer. It doesn't seem like anybody really knows. You know what I mean? And we did add. We did at some considerable expense to the town add a way to add the glycol to the system, but I'm still not confident that the people that are supposed to be checking it really understand it. So
So is this being maintained by the town or by a service company?
it's through a company, but it's a complex system. It's not
Right. So it's a company that's allegedly knows something
and
about
they
this?
and they regularly come through and change all the filters, which is a monthly task, and we go through a lot of filters because there's a lot of heat pumps in the
Right.
building.
Wow.
So can we go back to Mr. Stein, Architect Stein, and ask him on their buildings that he's done? Because it's funny that I just showed Dave, Commissioner Lacroix, that I actually had it down on my thing to ask that question.
Yeah.
Because the 10-year anniversary's here.
Most of the other systems seem to be.
No, I mean of who takes care of this that you have a concern with, because
Yeah, I
been a
really
concern.
think it's just like they understand the machinery.
Yeah.
They understand they've been doing a good job. It's been regularly maintained. We haven't had any knock on wood
knock on
problems.
wood, yeah,
but
no
it's the
thought.
glycol, because I remember, and Jack, you can back me up on this. They specifically told us that we need to make sure that is
yeah,
topped off and
it's like your espresso machine. You got to make sure. Yeah, it's always
And
yeah.
this is for the radiant heat in the flooring?
this
The
is
glycol?
this is
The
for the whole
pumps.
system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the whole
All right.
thing. Yeah.
For the heat exchangers?
So there's
for the
glycol. There's a
HVAC?
glycol loop in the floor downstairs, and there is the main glycol loop that goes through the wells and everything.
You
So
want me to
it's-
contact Turner for you
Wow.
tomorrow and ask him questions?
No, I could start with
No,
Brian
because,
again.
I mean,
with
'cause
I just want to give him the courtesy
It's common.
of asking
I mean,
them.
this is
Yeah.
a common system.
Yeah, you
But I
put
think
this-
a lot of people don't know. I think we're more advanced. So,
Well, the company,
nothing against him.
the company that we use, or Brian Droney uses through GGB,
yeah.
was utilized for their expertise. So, but it's just a question. It's lingering out there. It hasn't been answered, and I'd like to get it answered.
Time to get it answered. Yes, yes.
I also think, Chief, is the warranty up on the flat roof now?
No, it should have been 20 years. I thought we were
Oh, is
going.
it 20?
I thought we went beyond 10. I think that was one of my sticklers, but it's not a bad idea. I thought we had a 20-year warranty. We should look at that in the book.
Because it might require maintenance to
Yeah.
be adhered to that.
Because I was always nervous if anybody went up there and did anything that we didn't follow everything per the procedure, because it always void a warranty. So.
Right.
I for some reason I thought 20 was going to be on the flat roof. Wow. Well, we
Okay.
can check that book though.
Well, I had asked the chief a while, this has been some time back, with all those solar panels up there, who checks them? I mean, how do we know that they're even working? Does somebody?
Well, we have two meters in a software package that can monitor the output of them.
Okay, so it'll.
If you go upstairs, you can hear them working.
Oh, okay.
Actually, when Chief Ahern retired before he became commissioner, that was one of his retirement duties, was to go check them for us. Okay.
And where is he? He's in Florida.
So when he gets back here, Buzz, he's
gonna
going
be
up there on the
checking,
roof.
yes, he is.
I
Hear
was-
him buzzing. They will buzz.
I was just up on the roof last week, just eyeballing stuff, and everything looks to be like,
Okay.
you know, it should. I even open up the cooling unit to make sure, in fact, that they are changing the filters they're supposed to be changing,
Okay.
and they are. So.
Yeah, but the glycol's a big deal.
Yes. Oh, yes,
Well,
it
affects the
is.
efficiency.
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
Well, it's such a minor, easy thing that could be overlooked, and then
So there's like a general reservoir that has to stay topped off, like your power steering pump kind of thing?
well, that's the thing, is it's not as easy as that.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's why
gotcha.
Yeah.
we don't want
You need
we don't want to
experts.
overdo it or
Actually,
screw something
Probably
up.
has to be pressurized too, yeah.
A lot of this happens at the
You
airport.
got your
Yeah.
job work cut out for
You know what I
you.
mean? Yeah, so if I can help you, I will, be happy to help.
But some of the other stuff, Chief, the normal wear and tear stuff. I mean, I think for 10 years we're in really good shape, but like we just the main refrigerator downstairs just crapped out. That's a pretty good run, 10 years. You know?
Okay. Okay.
Was it actually 10 years, or did we?
For the amount,
Did we take that
I think we
over?
did one other repair to it, but
Oh,
That was
sure.
new here.
Huh?
That was new here.
It was?
Okay.
I know
But
the
they
stove
don't
was.
last
The stove
like they
was-
used to,
The stove is
though.
still,
Yeah,
we
it's a
carried over,
donation.
yeah.
Oh, my
and some of the asphalt, it's one of the things that we want to make sure that in the springtime we get on top of is getting the cracks sealed and maybe
And we need
even
some curb repairs, but it's concrete, not asphalt. It's concrete.
concrete.
We got a couple,
I saw one. I think we can make a repair on the plow damage to
Yeah, that
that
happens.
area out there,
Yeah.
and then we'll certainly clean up the the lawn plow damage where
Hats everywhere.
typically we
Hats
rake it
everywhere.
out, throw
Yeah.
some contractor seed down, and
Yep, good. And how about any other stations?
there's a tree that's down in the corner, and I reminded Gary Zielinski, and he is
Yeah,
definitely going to take care of the tree.
Okay.
It smashed the fence in the corner, and we can't
Oh,
do anything
geez.
until the tree's out of there. So
Okay.
it's on his agenda.
so when you come up from Cherry Street, since you mentioned it now, I do see some, I don't know what you want to call it, is that part of our property going up? I see some articles of some, looks like mirrors and stuff as you come up.
Oh, and the
Yeah.
end there, yeah, no, those are we pick them up, but it's not
Yeah.
our property.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, how about other stations?
I have not heard anything. Everything I know that we have the Station 9 project, and I believe tomorrow we'll be taping it out. But I do have, I'd really like to get the building department on board there because I think it's only appropriate.
Okay. All right. Talk. Okay. I did notice one thing down 9 is that the pilasters going in, but the apparatus bay, they all peeled. Do they make
The
a sleeve
nines?
we can drop over that?
They should. Just a
Yeah,
plastic
all the
sleeve.
balusters going in the apparatus. Have you noticed that? There's 4 of them.
I didn't.
But they all peel.
I think they
It's
do make plastic.
yeah, I think they make
Sleeve
plastic
over.
that
These
just
are
slip
plastic.
over.
What's that?
I think these are all plastic.
Yeah, these are.
They slip over. It's a sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can,
We'll look into that.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's it. MP Rice is okay, and 5s.
Status quo. 5s is going to need some aesthetic work. I think that we mentioned that to Brian last year. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm hoping that it's in the budget.
okay. Anything else on buildings? All right, thank you.
I did ask Jim Finch about the ARPA money, if maybe we could get that station out east. He said maybe in COVID 2028.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
Sounds like Jim.
Yeah,
I was joking.
We're trying.
I was
Yes,
joking,
yes.
but I was serious. It's one of those things that should be on the
Bring it
radar
up
at
every
some.
chance we get.
Should be on the radar.
I think
at
I
some
did that in
point.
January 6, 2020 to Mayor Cosgrove at the time. We dedicated 9s, and I said that next building is going to be out east,
Yeah.
within 5 years, so it's coming up. So
It's a long
I think he
run.
shook his head and said it was okay.
It's a long run out
Yeah,
there.
Yeah,
I know.
Now.
We need it.
Yeah.
All right, pensions and communications, Commissioner Clem.
Well, I still have not heard back from Deputy Chief Murray. He's been waiting for the volunteer companies to give their year-end reports, and I emailed him this morning, hoping he would get back to me, but I haven't heard him, because I said we'd like to get the stipend money out to him.
Yep.
And everything. So anyway, as soon as he gets back to me, we'll have our meeting and we'll do what we're supposed to do. So that's it.
Okay. All right, Chief's report.
Well, thank you.
Anything that we haven't hit on or want to talk about?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. First of all, I'd like to just take the opportunity. This year we had a lot of change. Sean Heffernan retired as our longtime assistant chief and fire marshal. We reorganized. We created a separate fire marshal and assistant chief. And I'd like to just say that I'm very appreciative of the hard work that Chief Bloomquist has been doing in the role of assistant chief. And with that, John Kujma, as our deputy chief of training, has been doing an exceptional job. He's really, had a little bit of a steep learning curve because it was a completely new role for him. He's been doing a great job. And then, of course, Rob Dobozinski, as our fire marshal, has been also doing a great job. So these guys are our command staff positions, and they've been invaluable, and I really appreciate all your hard work. It makes my job much, much easier. We could use a little more help, but
Yes.
that's all right. We'll get there. But anyways, over the last, since our last report in November, where we had that run of fires, we've been relatively quiet on the fire front. Medical calls, storm-related incidents, and vehicle fires have kind of dominated our response activities. We've done 4,107 calls year to date, fiscal year to date, so July till yesterday. It averages about 17.25 calls per day, with Friday being our busiest day and 11 a.m. being our busiest hour. A lot of those calls are overlapping incidents, meaning before we finish one incident, there's multiple incidents that happen during that same time frame. We are often seeing one ambulance go out and then another within the same time frame. So we call those overlapping calls, and we do about 60% of our incidents are overlapping calls, where one starts before the other one finishes. The Exit 56 radio site is supposed to be configured and testing to begin next week, as I understand it, Jack. And I've asked to do a site visit there, and hopefully that will be on in operation by April. It's been a long project, and we hope it's online soon.
Is that for a repeater?
It's a full repeater receiver station transmitting site, similar to Snake Hill, so it gives a good deal of redundancy to what we already have and covers a lot of that dead area out in that area of town. And again, relying more and more on mutual aid for everything that we do. All towns around us are in the same boat, so we often go to Guilford. Now we'll have more reliable communication there as well. We are replacing our comprehensive management software that does everything. You guys know that as Firehouse Software, our current vendor. It is a SQL-based system that's long antiquated, but it's very powerful. It does our inventory, it does our training tracking, it does our personnel management, it does our federal and state incident reporting, and gives us all the data that we can then give to you and show you what we do every day. So it's a big thing, and we knew its replacement was going to be complex, and we wanted to make sure that we got it right. We think that we have chosen the best option, which is a program called First Do. The actual company is Locality Media. We signed the contract this week. We should begin meeting with their onboarding and project team to get us going. But we undertook this after looking at a whole bunch of different systems. We researched with other departments through the International Association of Fire Chiefs Knowledge Net, talking to people nationwide. What are you using? Why do you like it? Why do you don't? First Do seems to be standing out among a lot of people. So we're very excited to get on board with this. It has a couple of unique features that I think we haven't been able to fully utilize in our current thing, and one of them is pre-planning. When firefighters go to a building, they'd like to have a little bit of information about that building and the hazards they may encounter. This has a really good program for that, And the nice thing is that if they get there and they see that something hasn't been pre-planned or they want to add some stuff, they can add it right on their whatever device they have that can connect to the internet. They can make the updates right there. It goes to one of us. We see it, we approve it, and it gets real-time approved into the system. And then all the fire marshal stuff that they do will also get added to the pre-plan, and then our people in the field will have that information at their fingertips. We've never had that before. It'll be overlaid with all the town's GIS information. So we've long been promised it. We've had bits and pieces of it, but most of it's been paper-based and notebooks that fly across the seat when you're trying to drive, and so we're excited about that. And then it also has this unique feature called Community Connect, which will allow the residents to actually go in, fill out data about their personal household. Maybe they have an invalid in the house, maybe they have pets in the house, whatever they want to tell us or don't want to tell us. It's completely secure. It's only us that get to see it, and they can tell us what they want and what they don't want. But it allows us to connect with them, and it also has some other community engagement features, which will allow us to, put out fire prevention messages and stuff, similar to what we do on our social media platforms,
All right.
but just another.
All right, well, how would you let the public know that
We're going to have a campaign.
Oh,
so there's
okay.
going to be a rollout of that and try to do that. And another rollout that the town will be doing is we're replacing our emergency communications platform that we use. We currently are with CT Alert, which is the state. That's not going to go anywhere. We're still going to have access to that and be able to use it. But this will be able to kind of personalize a little bit more, use for a wider range of communication with the public. And we will have a campaign which will include mailers. So depending on how fast these two things come together, we might be able to utilize the same kind of platform to get the message out.
Nice, okay.
So Chief, will this package also monitor maintenance, apparatus maintenance
Yes,
as
in a
well?
much better way.
Oh, wow.
So right now, if the firefighter can take their phone or the iPad, whatever, if they want to use their own phone, they can. They go around the truck, they do the truck check, they say, oh, there's a tail light out. If they say, no, it's not working, it automatically brings up the report that says what's wrong with it and emails the appropriate people once they complete it. If tomorrow another firefighter comes and says, oh, the tail light's out, clicks it, says no, it says that's already been reported. So it'll track all that stuff in a much. We're very excited about the features. The look and feel of it is much more user friendly than we've been used to, and we're really.
How
excited
difficult's the
about
migration going to be? Because you're going to have to get all the data off of Firehouse, right?
It's not going to be easy. I'm sure there's going to be some data that we're not able to migrate perfectly over.
Yeah.
But the other thing is Firehouse is not going anywhere. We own that. It lives on our server. So it's not like, the company we're with is going to turn off the switch and we lose everything. We have, the reason we're doing it this time of year is it's taken us this long to get here, but we're going to take this last quarter of the year to get it right, and then in the beginning of next fiscal year we will activate it. And the other nice feature about it, it has a scheduling and payroll software that we currently use a separate vendor for, and we hope to be able to have everything live in the same platform. As long as HR is happy and the data translates the same, we'll hope to start. That's why we're doing it fiscal year, so really for the payroll version, so that when we turn one off and turn this on, it's seamless. So we're excited about it. We hope.
What's the time frame for it?
We should start next week with with meetings
So
about.
March
1st. The project
Yeah,
to
it's gonna
get
take
it
a while.
rolling
Yeah.
will really take place. I anticipate it will take all 4 months
I would think so.
to really build it out.
Okay.
And the way we're
It's not
dividing
an
up
easy
the
task.
project is that depending on your area of expertise in the fire department, for instance, Rob Dobozinski is a fire marshal and dealing with the occupancies and the inspections. He's going to spearhead the development and the build out of that module, working with the first two project teams. So Timmy Murray's on board. Chief Coachman is going to be obviously spearheading the training part, and then Chief Bloomquist and I will do the rest with the personnel, the payroll, the administrative side.
You guys are gonna be busy.
It's
Different payroll.
busier time of year.
Let's go with that from the fire district.
That's all I have.
Taxes. All right, that's enough.
Everybody's
That's good.
doing a great job.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Good, thank you.
That's great.
Assistant Chief Bloomquist?
Try to keep it brief. Some of the items were touched upon in the chief's report. Thanks for the comments, chief, on the last year that I've been assistant chief. We have hired 2 full-time firefighter paramedics since the last meeting that we held in November with Elo Theres, Teddy Gianteras coming on. He's been here 2.5 months into his probationary period. I haven't heard anything but positive comments on his work so far. The other was Anthony Salerno, who was hired he started January 31st, started at the academy on February 1st. He's scheduled to graduate May 25th of this year, and he'll come on, and that will bring us to 2 full-time vacancies, of which we still have some processes in place. The consortium test, the newest version of the consortium test, is just being finalized, so there may be other applicants that we can look at there for those 2 positions. We still have some internal candidates that are in the process of becoming paramedics that may be applicants that we can look at. So for those 2 extra full-time positions, we have some avenues we may be able to pursue to get those filled. Hopefully to get them on board for the fall fire academy class. Back to the part-time workers, we had talked about the number of vacancies which had gone unfilled on the Medic 3 shifts. It's been a little bit better since December 1st. It's we've only had 16.5% unfilled vacancies, which at one point it was up over 20 to 30% that were going unfilled. We have hired 6 part-time EMTs and 1 part-time paramedic. We had hoped to hire 2 part-time paramedics, but fortunately one of them we grabbed was Anthony Salerno to come on full-time. So those 7 part-time EMTs and paramedic are in the process of doing their orientation right now, which Assistant Drill Master Garrett Lizzie is overseeing along with Deputy Chief Kujma. And it's a lot of work both to oversee that and onboard these people to make sure that they're ready to go. And one of the things that we looked at when we considered who to hire of the 17 applicants was their experience in the EMS field. We tried to get people that wouldn't need a lot of work to onboard. We wanted them to know the town a little bit. We wanted them to be able to do call-ins, should we have a call-in crew required. And I think that we've hit it pretty well, and some of them should onboard starting next week, we hope. So that's going well. We're continuing to update some operating guidelines and procedures related to fire at the dispatch center, which are 14 to 15 years out of date. It's a big task, but we have some help from members on the floor that are actually involved with the fire radios and dispatch and things like that are helping out. So that's also moving forward. And that's a couple of public events coming up. The festival's coming back in June, and the fireworks will be coming up. So we're planning for those as well.
That's good to hear, good.
Wow.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for Assistant Chief? No? Deputy Chief Kujma, you have anything you'd like to report to us besides what you talked about?
Do not have anything. I think everything was.
You and Commissioner Clem are working well together, which is good, you know. We'll make sure she keeps calling you. Do you have his direct line? Buzz, do you have it?
I don't even know what's
Okay. Me either. Okay. We have one item under
New business.
new business.
Yes.
MP Rice has requested to participate in the St. Patty's Day Parade on March 13th, 2022. As long as the chief has no problem.
Nope.
It's been off for 2 years, so it'll be nice to see it come back again, right? Do I have a motion to approve MP Rice Company 2?
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Now, didn't they win the last time they went to this? I think they won.
They did get an award for best appearing volunteer unit, I think, volunteer fire unit.
Oh, okay.
If I
Okay.
recall correctly.
Yeah.
It might not have been the last.
I think it was
time,
a
but
red truck that did it,
Yes,
that's
I just
why.
couldn't remember when. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, anything else? Otherwise, we should move for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Do we have a
I'll
second?
I'll second that.
Second that by Commissioner Hearn.
All right,
in
go
favor?
back to Florida and
And I
happy
thank
hour.
you,
know.
Commissioner Fox, Commissioner Hearn. Thank you both. Go back to your Florida time.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Thank you. Be
Stay
safe.
safe there.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.